interesting. One of the things he said in his video was he's talking about Twitter is already dying a slow death, and there's a lot of people saying that. I mean, when you censor half your user base, it's kind of hard to maintain it. Hello and welcome to the Beginning of Wisdom Live. We made it. You guys made it. It's good to see you. This is Theology and Apologetics in the Sight of God. I am here. My name is Andrew Schumacher, and you can find ministry resources on the website beginningwisdom.org. That's beginningwisdom.org. No of in there. And then the YouTube channel, where I'm on Twitter at Beginning Wisdom and Facebook at BW Apologetics. As always, I am here with my lovely wife and co-host, Nikki Schumacher.
Hey, my name is Nikki Schumacher. And am I supposed to say where they can find me?
Yeah.
I have a couple YouTube channels. One is just that Titus 2 idea, homemaking, teaching the older women, teaching the younger to love their families. And my second YouTube channel is called Exegesis, and that's kind of more Bible nerd stuff. I throw all that on there. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of that as well.
All right. So we've got a crazy show going on tonight. Oh, one other thing. As far as ways you can support the ministry, I wanted to plug that as well. We do have Amazon affiliate links. You can find those in the description. Even right now, if you're going to get something at Amazon, if you do that, that'll help us out. Also, I am on Subscribestar. If you want to check that out, I'll be putting some exclusive content up there. And based on our conversation today, going to be putting some things probably more on there than I was planning on. So definitely check that out. So today we are going to be talking about a really important topic. We're going to be talking about really persecution in the church, and even among people whose views are similar to or based on the biblical worldview, even if they're not Christians, and just how that is not only under attack, but really what we as Christians are supposed to be doing about it. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. There have been so many things this week. It's really been crazy. I'm going to talk about three things primarily, but you could talk about, Unplanned movie just came out. That movie has gotten hit on their Twitter feed.
Yep.
They don't, they got it taken down, put back up, all that kind of stuff.
Fascist garbage.
Yeah. In Congress right now, there is an Equality Act that's going through that sounds really nice if you're not paying too close attention, but it's really designed to make it so that churches and religious organizations really don't have the ability to have people work for them that share their values. There's just a lot of persecution definitely going on, but I wanted to touch on three things specifically in this show, kind of in three, because they are three different areas. There are three different ways that Christians are being persecuted that are different. They're different ways, and we need to understand, kind of what's going on. There's three issues. The first one I want to talk about is David Wood. So for some of you who follow Apologetics, David Wood has a channel, Acts 17 Ministries. It's on YouTube. He does a lot of work on Islam, a little bit on atheism.
He's been banned from Twitter. He's had so many problems with YouTube that he doesn't even know every time he uploads a video if it's going to be taken down or not. And so It's always in the back of his mind, is this a waste of my time?
Yeah, and so he's talked a lot about dealing with that stuff with other people he works with. He is good friends with another apologist named Robert Spencer, who does stuff answering Islam and things like that. And that guy's been hit with different types of censorship or bans, and really it's a tough situation. The difficult things. So what initially happened, was that for David Wood there's this ban. They said, it's a 12-day ban until you take down this offending tweet. And the tweet, all the tweet said was just check out my video. It didn't really say anything in the tweet, but the tweet, the video it linked to was one where he was actually condemning violence and trying to show how the Christchurch killer who went on a rampage, what he represented and how to stop that from happening, and what caused it is censorship. That when people are censored and when they're shut down and when they can't speak and they can't have these disagreements verbally, some will resort to that kind of thing. And so he was calling on the platforms like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and such to not do that, to not censor people for the view that they don't like, because that's really what's causing some people to do this kind of thing. And they feel like they don't have any other outlet. So he did that. He said that in his video. So it was the video that Twitter had a problem with. And then Twitter does this ban. He said, well, I'm not going to take down any tweets. So it's essentially a permanent ban. Interesting, one of the things he said in his video was he's talking about Twitter is already dying a slow death. And there's a lot of people saying that. I mean, when you censor half your user base, it's kind of hard to maintain it. And I actually went to Statista.com and looked up the statistics on Twitter, and it says their height, and this is based on quarters in the year, but their height was 336 million active users first quarter of 2018, so that was about a year ago now. They're down to 321 million fourth quarter of 2018, so right before what we're in now. I would imagine this quarter will be smaller, but I don't know. March's numbers aren't in. But it said, but when I thought about that drop, really in 3 quarters of the year, it hadn't been at that level since 2016 was the last time that Twitter was at that level of users. So it's just starting to drop, but it's dropping faster than it was going up. So I think he's probably right about that. Now, what can we say about it? It's a private company. Are we supposed to tell private companies how to run their business? No, technically what they're doing isn't illegal, but there are, it is definitely a question of, treating people fairly, treating customers fairly, that you treat one customer with the same policies that you treat another customer. And if you're not doing that, what's the reason behind it? And, there are lots of, I would expect and hope that churches in hiring people would not hire people who aren't Christians. I would expect and hope that any organization that has a certain viewpoint and a certain goal would not, bring people in or include people in their leadership or anything like that. I mean, of course, but when it comes to customers, when you're discriminating on your customers, it's not that it's necessarily wrong, but there are issues, especially with a platform like this. I
think that it could very well be wrong.
Yeah.
This has come into a new territory, censorship.
Mm-hmm.
When a company is so big as to monopolize all of the media and controlling the news that you get, that is dangerous territory, and absolutely, I think it could be morally wrong. It's pretty scary territory when they are censoring anything that doesn't agree with their views, because all of us have errors. What human can have that kind of power without abusing it? And they censor people more before every election. So to me, that's I'm not even sure if that's borderline wrong or if it's just wrong. And when you're monopolizing in a way that it's like, this is modern day newspapers. That's what we have. That's horrifying, and a lot of abuse can go on.
That's sort of one area, is these media platforms and companies that are engaging in this censorship. That is pretty much what I want to talk about today, what we wanted to cover. And I appreciate you sticking with us. And just to remind you with the episode, make sure you like it, share it on all your platforms. And next week definitely
we're gonna
should
have
be
a
better.
new mic next week.
Yeah, we're going to get a new mic and get this all good. As far as ways you can support the ministry, I wanted to plug that as well. We do have Amazon affiliate links. You can find those in the description. Even right now, if you're going to get something at Amazon, if you do that, that'll help us out. Also, I am on Subscribestar. If you want to check that out, I'll be putting some exclusive content up there. And based on our conversation today, going to be putting some things probably more on there than I was planning on. So definitely check that out. And thank you so much for watching. And we
see you next week.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, definitely. It's been awesome, and see you next week.